Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Joel.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Grandpa.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Matt. And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. Welcome back, everybody. It's so nice to see you. It is a beautiful fall day here in Northeast Pennsylvania. It's a little chilly today, a little cooler than normal. Now we're getting started with the camera a little later today, but the boys have already been out picking. I'll show you what they were working on. Now the boys were working on harvesting some potatoes. We got some white potatoes, we've got some red potatoes, and they even picked some gourds while they were out this morning. Now it is coming up on lunchtime, so let's go see what we're having. So it looks like we're having for lunch sausage hoagies, meatball hoagies, macaroni salad, and Grammy is even frying some onion rings. Check it out. Now I'm in the cooler and it's kind of quiet in here. We've been having a problem with our cooler unit. It just hasn't been working. And it's been getting to the point where we bring all the vegetables in from out in the heat. You know, it's 90 degrees we're picking, and our cooler can't keep up with the amount of heat that we're bringing in. Now we try and keep everything as fresh as possible. We want our cooler at 40 degrees at all times. However, the unit that we had in here before, this is a brand new unit, wasn't able to keep up. So for the past 2 days, we've been working on installing a brand new unit. Now there is a company here doing this for us because we have a very large outside unit that powers this, and they're actually installing that right now. And this is a very, very costly piece of equipment to replace. We weren't expecting to replace it, but there's not much you can do about it because this cooler is very, very important to us. If we don't have this cooler, we can't keep our vegetables nice and cool. We can't store other stuff in here. So my dad has been working on dealing with this for the past 2 days, and finally we're getting the new unit installed, and today the cooler should be up and running. And that's one of the most difficult things with farming. You have to expect the unexpected, and we didn't expect this to happen. So fortunately, we're getting it all taken care of, and it should be up and running by tonight.
I picked that.
Well, now that we're done with lunch, we've got to go down around back and wash up those potatoes that were harvested this morning. Now, Daniel and Joel, they are out with the equipment this morning. Daniel and Joel have been working on mowing down all the hay, so we're going to try and get that tedded. And I also believe Daniel is going to start planting wheat. So now we're down around back. We've got our washer all set up and ready to go. We've got our potatoes. Now all we have to do is wash them. So normally when we wash potatoes, we wash a lot more than just a few baskets. And what we would normally do is dump them into this hopper, and the hopper would dump onto these conveyors that we have set up. What's interesting about this hopper is it has a built-in grading system that grades out the smaller potatoes. Now the potatoes that fall into this wheelbarrow, we call them creamers. They're a little smaller potato. We're not gonna throw them out. We're gonna sell these at a different price. Now this process can take a little bit of time, but we want the potatoes to wash evenly. So when we dump them on, we dump them slow and give them all an opportunity to wash up. And just like that, we've got all of our red potatoes washed. Now we're blowing some air on them to help dry them off so we can get them bagged up a little sooner. But since all of those are taken care of, now we're moving on to white. Daniel's still up on the hill with the tractor. He's trying to finish up with the disc. It's a little rocky in that area, and we want a good stand on our crop, so he's going over it a few times. So right now, myself, Gavin, and Matthew, we are heading back to pick some things. I have a list. We need some peppers. I think we need some gourds. Also, Daniel, Joel, and my dad, they're working on getting the drill set up. Daniel's going to be planting wheat, and Joel is going to be tedding all of the hay. So the first thing we are going to be looking for are Jack B. Littles. Now, a lot of people that come to the farm market just call them little pumpkins, and you can see why, because they look like little pumpkins. Now these become very, very popular as the year goes on. So trying to get as many of these as we can. The only problem is when we planted our pumpkins and our gourds, it was really dry and hot and the ground was very hard. So they didn't germinate too well, but they look pretty cool, don't they? We did end up finding some more of the Jack B. Littles, but we also found a lot of Pokemon. So we got the Pokemons picked and we finished off with a few more Jack B. Littles. It's just difficult that at the time of the year when this stuff was supposed to be planted, the ground was so hard, the ground was so dry. But that's farming, you can't win them all. So now that we're done with the Jack B. Littles, the first thing we're gonna be doing is harvesting some peppers. Now we need Italianelles. Not just green, not just red, we need a mixture of both. So we're working on harvesting that. Just go out a little bit ahead of us, there's a ton in here. Now last time we were picking, we talked about that disease that's common with these peppers, that phytophthora. I've not seen too much of it yet in these Italianelles, but I'm sure we'll run into it later on. We just have to be careful while we're picking. A lot of peppers on the bottom of these plants. Finding some really nice Italianelles. These are some of the nicest Italianelles I've seen all year. You can see the size on them and the color. Oh man, those are some good looking peppers. All right. That's 10 of these. Now we are moving on to bell peppers. Gavin has already been picking some bell. Now we're looking for red, green, and any other colors we can find. Did you get all the bell peppers picked for us?
Yep, all of them. I picked them.
We've got a nice harvest here so far between the Italianelle and the bell peppers. We do need a few Cubanelle peppers though. So Matthew has moved over to get some orange and yellow bell, and then Gavin and I are gonna pick the Cubanelles. I just finished off the third basket. Gavin is working on the fourth basket of Cubanelles, and then we'll be finished with these peppers. Now, what are you working on over here?
I'm picking tomatoes.
Now, what kind of tomatoes are you looking for?
Red ones,
No, what type of tomatoes?
round ones, regular round eating tomatoes. But I had to pick a couple plum because my mom needed a couple more plum to make some more sauce. Matt's friend needed 2 baskets, so I had to pick for him.
You're just like nice grandpa guy.
I'm a nice guy.
While Dad is working on picking tomatoes, I quickly came down to the field right next to the pumpkins. This is a hay field that Joel is tedding right now. Now what Joel is doing, he's going out through the field, he's taking the little rows of hay and trying to disperse them so that we can get it to dry a lot faster. We're getting a few pokes of sunshine through the clouds today, but this time of the year it's really hard to dry hay, and we're gonna try and bale this and sell it at an auction. So we're trying to get it dried down as much as possible, and if we can't do that, we're just gonna round bale it and wrap it. I love the smell of fresh mown hay. It smells really good out here. These were a variety that we just planted for the first time this year called Red Snapper. And from what I've learned, a lot of people in my comments have already planted it for quite some time. I just had a runaway tomato. And we just planted it this year, our first time, and we really like it. Yeah, for us, it was the first year having Red Snapper in the seed catalog that we were ordering from, and we wanted to try it out. And from what I heard through my comments, a lot of people have planted it before. A lot of people liked it, so that made us very confident in it. And from what we've seen in our harvest this year, especially with our last planting of tomatoes, we like it. He's not like a regular grandpa. He's like a crazy grandpa.
So crazy and so much fun.
So we just got home with all of the produce that we harvested. Now we're not unloading this stuff yet. The cooler is not finished being repaired, and it's a cool temperature outside, so we can leave this stuff out here. We don't have to worry about it spoiling. So we're just gonna offload this stuff into the farm market later on.
2 calves are out, and I don't want to pick them up, so I need muscle. So I got Matthew. I need you.
The one calf was out running around over here. They were out this morning, I think, but they put them back in. They just keep hopping out of their pens. Now do me a favor, just stay in there. Please, just stay in there. Never mind. There wasn't just 2 calves out, there was 3 calves. What is going on here today? So I just went through and there was 3 calves out, and I lifted them over and set them in. They'll probably be out later on and I'll have to do it again. We always get a few calves that become escape artists, and we're trying to keep them all in the pen, but it becomes quite a challenge.
We're getting ready to feed the calves. We have a powdered milk we mix up in water for them. You can see they're all waiting for their milk.
Now, because we're a farm, a lot of people will just assume that we have dairy cows, and the only way we get these calves is from other dairy farmers. So we get the calves and then we feed them with the formula. Now these first couple calves, they're already starting to get some size to them. They're a little bit older. They drink their milk down in like 10-15 seconds. It's like Matthew and I at the dinner table.
Andy at the dinner table.
Whoa, what's going on here?
Here we got one that can never drink the bottom of the bucket, so we have to put it on edge so it can finish.
So now that they're all finished with their milk, all we have to do is go down through the row and give each one a little bit of water. So how do you feel about this batch of calves?
This is a really nice batch of calves. They're real healthy, they look really nice.
Now when it comes to our cows, we're trying to encourage them to go out and graze a little bit more. One thing, when the cows graze, that's free food for them. They have the grass that's out in the pasture. And we've been trying to feed them a little bit more silage. It's a lot cheaper for us to feed silage and grass rather than using up our hay stock and feeding them with grain. So now we've got all of our animals fed for the night. The guys just finished working on the cooler, so that should be all taken care of. Oh, it's pretty exciting, huh?
Yes, it is.
Now that the cooler's up and running, it's a perfect time to get all this stuff moved into the cooler. Feels pretty good in there. We're hoping this new unit is more efficient than the old one. We had that old one from the time we built the store, so we'll just have to wait and see. Oh no, Tracy, where is everything?
It's put away because we're closing.
We just got everything put away in the farm market. We got the store closed up, so now we're heading up to the house. There is not a better view to walk up to after a day of work. Hey honey, how you doing? Good. Oh, it's the little princess.
Aunt Megan. Yeah.
We got Aunt Megan up here babysitting. She's got the baby in her on the swing. Callie really enjoys the swing. Little known fact. Alrighty. Lauren, what are we having for dinner tonight?
Chicken tortellini soup, and I have biscuits in the oven.
Thank you so much for making dinner. I appreciate it. I'm really hungry. Alrighty, everyone. We just all sat down for dinner. We've got the soup on the table. We've got the biscuits on the table. So that means this is where we're going to end the video. We want to thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.